Oh boy, Buffalo Sabres fans, y'all are eating well tonight. Because Josh Doan and the Buffalo Sabres have just signed a contract extension, 7 years by $6.95 million a year. It's just under 7 by 7. And there's a $7 million signing bonus in the first 2 seasons. Take a look at this right here. Josh Doan, extended 7 by 7 by Buffalo, is a two-way, play-driving winger who forechecks and backchecks like his life depends on it. And he is increasingly flourishing offensively as well. Analytical darling in Utah as a fourth liner, and he has scaled it up beautifully. You can see that his wins above replacement ranking went from about 50% last season to just under 100% this season. He is a time on ice third liner, 23 years old, but his total number at 79% is relatively high. 86% offense and 94% defense. It's a really strong start to his NHL career Josh Doan has had. And I'm going to just say this as well, Josh Doan, he has been a very relatively under-the-radar sleeper pick in my fantasy leagues. I mean, he's always getting added and dropped and whatever because his production's pretty good this year. 35 points in 49 games played, on pace for 58 total on the season. But this guy hits, he backchecks, he works super hard. This is a guy who was drafted 37th overall by Arizona 5 years ago. And it was always a super interesting element of his story because it was like, oh, his dad is Shane Doan, of course. Arizona Phoenix Coyotes legend. Pretty much the best Coyote of all time. And when Shane Doan was working with the Arizona Coyotes as the director of hockey administration, that's when they drafted Josh. So obviously there was a nice connection there. Oh, it's the guy drafting his son. And it's not like Josh Doan was a Nepo pick. He was ranked to go around that range in the draft anyway. Okay, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was actually projected to go a little bit later. 71st by future consideration, 66th by McKenzie, 40th by Craig Button, though. So maybe Craig Button had the scoop that Doan would go around where the Coyotes were picking that year. But after a few years of developing at Arizona State University, obviously he was drafted by Arizona. His dad is Shane Doan. He was playing for ASU. There was a big Arizona-Phoenix connection there with Josh Doan. But inevitably, he made the Tucson Roadrunners at the end of 23. He had 9 points in 11 games at Arizona in 23-24. And then with the Utah Hockey Club, he had split the year with Tucson and Utah. 19 points in 51 games played last season. Not great, but obviously there was still a lot more to come out of his development. He was sent over to Buffalo in the JJ Peterka trade, and now, when you think about it, it seems like Sabres fans are really happy, not just with that trade, but with this contract extension too. Take a look at what folks on the subreddit are going out there and saying, get the parade ready. Fantastic signing. I love this. Oh, this donor is going to last 7 years. Should I consult a doctor? I honestly think Doan is better than Peterka alone. Peterka produces more 5-on-5, but that's more because he's very reliant on a loose rush counterattack play. Doan's strengths are more sustainable long-term and especially in the playoffs. Peterka reminds me of a poor man's Nikolai Ehlers. Once the checking gets tighter, he'll disappear. Huge day for Terry Pegula-owned franchises. If the Sabres make as great and smart a move as this, I can only imagine how well the Buffalo Bills are doing. Jesus, man, Top Reply says. And yeah, we're not gonna necessarily go out there and talk about the Buffalo Bills, but the Buffalo Sabres are doing some pretty good, tight work with Josh Doan and this contract extension, and I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. How do you feel about this deal? Let's go out there and just read what some of the replies on Twitter say, because that's always a fun place to go out there and read. Some added details. $7 million signing bonus over the first 2 years. When eligible, he gets a 7-team no-trade list. Another piece in place for Buffalo. This should help them determine if they have enough to keep Tuck pretty soon. And yeah, no, I'm actually really happy with this too. Josh Doan, look at his individual profile from this season. 90% contribution per 60, 89% contribution overall. That's a really good stat card for a guy that last season was halfway between Utah and the AHL. Meanwhile, if you go over to JJ Peterka, see what he's been up to this season with Utah. Peterka's been fine, but I don't want to make it seem like he is maybe as dominant as we thought he would be. I mean, he hasn't necessarily been top line, but he has been roughly in that 15-minute a night range for Utah. He's got 32 points in 49 games, on pace for 54 points, which is fewer than what he had last season with Buffalo, 68 points on the dot there. So when you look at the trade, which sent Peterka over to the Utah Hockey Club in exchange for Doan and Kesselring, I mean, yeah, Doan obviously was the main forward piece. Kesselring on D, some extra added value there too. I think both teams can be very happy with how this trade situation has played out just a few months after the trade was made. I mean, Josh Doan, he's getting 19, 20 minutes a night some nights. Other nights he's getting 15, 17 minutes. He's been playing a lot. He's been really physical. He's working his behind off. That's something you didn't necessarily get out of Peterka. I think we all remember the clip of Buffalo versus Utah this year where Peterka ended up scoring a goal and the commentator from Buffalo's broadcast was like, Peterka doing what he does best. He's doing nothing and then he gets the puck and he just scores. Meanwhile, for Josh Doan, it's like you notice him every shift. You notice him when he is not on the puck. You notice him when he's hounding the offensive players on the other team for the puck. You notice him when he's back-checking. He loves to put in that effort, and he's got that dog in him. So a lot of Buffalo Sabres fans super happy with this. It's kind of funny to see the connection with his dad, Shane Doan, get kind of disintegrated, but hey, Shane ain't working for the Arizona Coyotes and the Utah Hockey Club anymore. He's on the Toronto Maple Leafs as a special assistant to the GM, and he owns the Kamloops Blazers, so that seems to be where Father Shane is putting his sights on now. With that in mind, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Josh Doan? 7 years, $6.95 million a year, just under $49 million total in his contract. You can say that's a beefy deal for a guy who is just in his second full NHL season, but he's on pace for 58 points. Just imagine what he'd be doing when he's a 4 or 5 year vet. There's a lot to like out of Josh Doan. As long as he's able to stay healthy and keep up this play style and that tenacity, this is a gem of a hockey player for the Buffalo Sabres, and I'm pretty sure most Sabres fans would agree. So with that in mind, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Josh Doan extension, yay or nay? Shout out to Emily Kaplan, Elliot Friedman for going out there and setting up the sauce for us. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.